in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Ready, set!
Just call me Swanny.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
Finally, Clemson Sports Talk has come back to Drive Time. Hello, everybody. Lawton Swan back in the saddle. Once again, it is the show that shakes the Southland. Clemson Sports Talk for you each and every afternoon as you make your way around the great state of South Carolina and beyond, listening to us on incredible radio stations like Fox Sports Radio 1400 the Midlands around the world, on the iHeartRadio app. Talking to my buddy John Merriam, engineer extraordinaire. We are going to be getting the studio set up to rock and roll with live video over the next couple of weeks. I cannot wait. I am jacked up to the max. So excited about it. Also today, had an unbelievable opportunity to head over to Kaufman's Meeting Place in Lexington. Man, I tell you what, there was a line out the door to get meat for the holiday season. They have been one of our loyal sponsors for so many years. Alicia Kaufman, Quentin, the entire family. It is a fantastic operation since 1955. Kaufmans.com. I just had to shout them out because they have been so good to us here on the program, and they are fantastic people in this community. Go support them. Again, Kaufman's Meeting Place over in Lexington. But I got some meat to put on the grill tonight. I'm firing up some fillets tonight. Swanny's going to be eating good heading into the holidays. So I do have to, I did want to shout them out. Make sure you stop by there and see them over the holiday break, man. And again, it's Kaufman's Meeting Place. So lots to get into today on the program. And I think we have to begin with what I would call one of the most disappointing storylines of the college football bowl season. And that is the fact that Pitt quarterback Kenny Pickett, who was in the mix for the Heisman Trophy, who single-handedly eliminated the quarterback fake slide from college football, who was heading into the biggest bowl game in Pitt football since the early 80s, maybe 1982. Kenny Pickett announcing that he will not play in Peach Bowl against Michigan State. Now, it would be one thing if it were only Kenny Pickett who had made this decision to opt out. But incredibly, Michigan State running back Kenneth Walker III, who also was in the mix for the Heisman Trophy, who at one point may have been considered the favorite for the Heisman Trophy, he will not play in that game either. Folks, I know that NIL, I know that the transfer portal, I know these things frustrate you and they create, just endless amounts of pain to think about what it's done to the college football game. Some positive, some negative. But the virus that is opting out of bowl games just kills me. It is the worst thing I think that's happening right now in college football. And that's tough for me to say with NIL and the transfer portal being this just do whatever you want to do deal. I mean, this is a Big 6 bowl game. These are 2 top 12 football teams. And although the name on the marquee, Pittsburgh and Michigan State, might not be the most exciting matchup, like this is probably not, this is not the most beautiful 2 teams stepping onto the gridiron to face off against one another. Minus the 2 biggest names on these teams, what in the world? I mean, listen, my guy Gary Stoken over at the Peach Bowl, the executive director of the Peach Bowl, it has got to be incredibly frustrating to know that a bowl game that should have been about an opportunity to capitalize on an incredible season for both of these young men will not take place because of concerns that they could get hurt playing in this one game. And they are going to begin preparing for the NFL draft. The NFL draft, which is in what, April? You can get hurt getting out of the shower. You can get hurt running wind sprints. You can get hurt lifting weights, throwing the football. You don't have, remember in the movie Little Giants, when the kid's mom wraps him up in bubble wrap to send him to football practice? If you're Kenny Pickett, if you're Kenneth Walker, and you know what, now that I say it out loud, maybe this is a referendum on Kennys. Don't be a Kenny. Why in the world, with this opportunity, the memories that you can make with your teammates, that's the problem here. That's what and if I'm an NFL executive, this bothers me. I mean, when we got Urban Meyer doing whatever in the world Urban Meyer's been doing since he's been at Jacksonville. By the way, don't be an Urban either. And I don't know if there's a Kenny Urban out there. I know there's a Keith, but poor Kenny Urban, I'm really on you today, buddy. But in this me first mentality that we see from so many people, how does this, if I'm an NFL executive, how do I look at a guy and go, well, at least he's about the team? Like that, it feels like the opposite of that. And what really bothers me, I mean, are we ever, and this is something, look, like some of you will look at me and you'll say, Swanny, this is like, you're way out of bounds, man. You're like some crazy TikTok video right now. Is it possible that we could cross over into a day and age where we get into the college football, wait for it, playoff and have a guy opt out? Could you imagine? Could you imagine a situation where Bryce Young says, you know what? Guys, I got a lot on the line. I'm going to be drafted. I'm hanging it up. I'm not playing. I won the Heisman Trophy. I've done everything I need to do. You know, again, if he could go pro, right? Like if he could do that. He can't right now. But if he could, and he said, you know what, I'm done. Hanging up the cleats. I can't worry about being injured. I got to worry about me and my draft stock. Yeah, but we're in the college football playoff. What? Like, that's the thing. Like, Kenny Pickett and Kenneth Walker, the thing about what these guys are doing is it is creeping closer and closer to a situation where guys opt out of the opportunity to win a national championship. And I know what you're saying. They don't have that opportunity in the Peach Bowl this year. I get it. But the blood, the sweat, and the tears that you've poured in for all these years, off of the whim that you, quote, might get hurt. I know what you're, and now look, there's the parental side of this too. There's the side of this where you got, some of you are saying, yeah, but Swanny, they're risking millions of dollars if they get hurt. Buddy, does that mean you're not going to get in a car to drive anywhere? You can get killed in a car wreck. I mean, life is not this, life is not without consequences and incidents and things that happen. Airplanes crash into houses. It doesn't happen often, thank goodness, but it happens. You can't live in a bubble. And if you are a college athlete whose team has earned the right to play in the biggest bowl that you've been in for Pitt since like 1982, get out there and play the game. I mean, you've been a hero. If I'm a Pitt fan, I am ticked. Thank you. I saw a tweet. It was like, thank you for all you've done, Kenny Pickett. Except for playing in the final game and the biggest game of the season for your team. You think this game isn't important for Pat Narduzzi? You think this game isn't important for the Pitt football program? You think this game isn't important? Pittsburgh is not about Kenny Pickett. It's bigger than Kenny Pickett. And I hope whoever, and again, I guess I keep going after Kenny. I should be going after Kenneth Walker too. I mean, both of these guys. Don't you owe it to your teammates? I mean, get off my lawn? I mean, have I turned into that guy already? At 45, am I the old, get off my lawn Swan, old man Swan here? Why is this something that we support? If Pat Narduzzi, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Pat Narduzzi ought to blister him in the media. He ought to. He ought to say, man, you know what? Kenny Pickett gave 5 fantastic seasons to this program. Kenny Pickett's one of the best players to ever come through here, and it is one of the biggest disappointments of my coaching career that he is sitting out on his teammates. Dude, that's fact. F-A-C-T, fact. That's what he's doing. That, to me, is a bigger blemish than if you got injured. And at some point, guys, somebody's going to do it for the college football playoff. It's eventually going to happen. It's eventually going to happen. 803-450-0086. Sorry, soapbox, but man. And I know there are more guys doing it. Like, I get it. Fortunately, Clemson has not had anybody opt out of the bowl game. And, what does that say something about their program? I would make the argument that, yeah, in fact, it does. It does make it does say something about Clemson's program. But my goodness, to imagine a scenario wherein which 2 of the top players in college football decide, nope, we're not playing in the bowl matchup. It just blows my mind. Doesn't it tarnish their seasons in your eyes? Like, I don't know if you cared or not about Kenny Pickett. I don't know if it was impressive what he did or not. Doesn't it tarnish, in your opinion, who this kid is? It's sad, really, because, I think like anything, like this one thing, like this is a prime example of that. People always say, like, you can do all kind of great things, but you do one thing wrong, and that's the thing that you get judged on. And that's how this feels. For kids who have been enjoying think about all the games. Like, why didn't he opt out of the ACC championship? Let me ask you that. Why even play the ACC championship game if you're Kenny Pickett? What did it matter? What did it matter? What did it matter, Kenny, to play in the ACC championship game? Why bother fake sliding? You should have just slid. Why bother trying to score that touchdown? What did it matter if you beat Wake Forest? What did it really matter? Isn't it really about you, Kenny? Isn't it really about staying healthy? You should have slid. Isn't it about getting to the NFL? Isn't it about making money? Why play that game? Why play the ACC championship game, Kenny? I mean, why fake slide, Kenny? You should have just slid. They've been much safer. Could have blown out your knee fake sliding. You should have just slid. Should have just taken a knee and walked off the field right there in Charlotte. Said, boys, peace out. I'm good here. Thank you. Like that. That's the other thing. Like, why would you play in that game if you're Kenny Pickett? How is the ACC championship game any different than the Peach Bowl? Well, we wanted to win an ACC title. Do you think a Peach Bowl victory is not a big deal? Man, I tell you. Let me say this on the record. This is on the record. This is Dabo Swanny. Print that, tweet that, Swanny on the record. I have no idea if my son will play football, college football, be the next Trevor Lawrence, whatever. But let me tell you something. I can assure you of two things. Number one, if my son were to play college football, and if he were tracking to be an NFL football player, and his team had one final game in a bowl game, let me tell you something. His dad would be telling him to play. Now, look, he ultimately makes the call, right? Like, you can't force your son to do anything. He makes the call. But Papa Smurf will be saying, you're playing in that ball game. And secondly, if he chose to sit out as his dad, I'd call a press conference. And I'd say, this is disappointing. He's letting down his teammates. Dude, I'd call him out. Put him on blast. People be like, man, that is a rough father. There's something about your teammates. There's something about what you've built. Why did you play in the ACC championship, Kenny Pickett? And anytime I've said Kenny Pickett here, just throw Kenneth Walker's name in there too, and anybody else that's opting out. Kenny, you just happen to catch the brunt of this. I can't believe that Pittsburgh and Michigan State are playing in one of the biggest bowl games of the year, and the top player on each team is opting out. Let me tell you, opting out has surpassed NIL and has surpassed transfer portal for me. That is at the top of the things that I, wait for it, hate. Yep. Hate. I actually hate opting out. I don't necessarily hate the transfer portal. I don't even necessarily hate NIL. There's things I don't like, but I hate that. You know what? I will say this. Opting out might be the one thing I actually hate in college football. I think that might be it. If I am writing a list of things I hate about college football, opting out is at the top, and it's not even close. You've let down your teammates. You've let down the fans that have supported you. You've let down your legacy. I mean, I could go on and on. Embarrassing.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed.
Fox
Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A look at the road shows a wreck on Broad River at Atlantic. Also an accident I-26 westbound near the Peak exit.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the best place to listen for everything you're into, from comedy and motivation to popular podcasts and best-selling audiobooks. Right now, take advantage of a special holiday offer and save 60% on your first 3 months. Learn more and sign up at audible.com.
Group training is a fun, accountable way to get in shape. I'm Coach Stewart of Dynamic Health and Fitness. Come train with one of our special groups today. We will focus on giving you the support you need to get in shape. We use the Dynamic Mob, featuring intervals of cardio, functional training, and strength training to change your lifestyle to make you healthy. Get started today at any of our locations in Lexington or West Columbia, or call 803-408-4060 or online at dynamichealthclub.com.
At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we've seen how terrible accidents turn lives upside down, and we're proud to be the lawyers our clients depend on during their toughest moments. I'm Jason Reynolds. Call me when your family is faced with any serious injury or death.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When you're hurt at work, I go to work, getting you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on. We have the experience and passion you need when you need it most.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 779-4000.
We are now in the final hours of an historic Lexington business. Lexington Jewelers, open since 1963, will be closing their doors for the final time at 2 p.m. this Christmas Eve. All remaining inventory is priced to liquidate with savings of 50 to 70%.
This is Barnett Scott. I wanted to say a special heartfelt thank you to all who have blessed me with their friendship. I would love to see each one of you one more time. Lexington Jewelers, Main Street, downtown Lexington. God bless.
You don't usually get a stock tip from a 16-year-old, but I'm here to tell you about a different kind of stock. It's called Better Futures, a stock for social change that's not about making money. Instead, you invest to help students like me go to college. This is beyond a simple donation. It's the opportunity for America to invest in its kids and take an active stake in the future of the country. The return on your investment isn't money. What you get back is knowing you protected our potential. So one day, that potential can grow up to become surgeons and architects, executives and engineers, people who can change the future just by being a part of it. My name is Alicia, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A public service announcement brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
Chances are there'll never be an emergency ever again. But just in case, let's talk about a plan.
Okay.
Who is going to grab the go bag?
What's a go bag? It is a bag we do not have that is filled with things we really, really need in an emergency.
Guess we won't have to worry about it then.
Well, this is great. I am so glad that we don't have a plan.
I know.
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency, who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Families affected by disasters urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to those affected by disasters, big and small. Donate to Red Cross Disaster Relief. Go to redcross.org or call 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Follow Clemson Sports Talk on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Now more of Clemson Sports Talk. Take it away, Dad.
Back at it on a Friday afternoon again, programming that we're off the air all next week for the holidays. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. I hope you have a great time with your family and friends, and certainly be safe out there with everything going on with the COVID-19 virus becoming more and more rampant. Just be cautious in your approach. I want to make sure everybody stays safe. 803-450-0086, 803-450-0086. 86. So, the Dandy Dozen, part 2, Clemson's second set of 12 during Dabo Swinney's tenure, coming ironically the first group, and then now this group after Clemson's amazing run that they've been on, only to have this season kind of come up short. And you have coaching staff changes, and that leads to 3 guys from IMG Academy all decommitting. And crazily, high school teammates who are going to be teammates at Clemson all go different schools. You go to Alabama, Georgia, and Michigan, but Clemson still gets their guy, and that guy being Cade Klubnik at the top, the quarterback out of Westlake High School. And, I think that one of the things that has people really excited about Klubnik is Dabo Swinney's comparisons to Deshaun Watson from a physicality standpoint, a frame standpoint, even saying that he thinks that Cade Klubnik is actually faster than Deshaun Watson. And I had somebody ask, they said, how can we watch those state championship games out of Texas? I'm going to be honest with you. I could not find them streaming online. I didn't spend a ton of time because it looks like they're being broadcast by Bally Sports Southwest, which is, what Fox Sports used to be. And that game is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, Westlake versus Denton Geyer for the 6A Division II state championships. So I just don't know if there's a way to get them. I think you can add them on. Maybe you'll be lucky and they'll be broadcast somewhere online and you could catch it. But I didn't see anything right out of the gates. All that being said, what I've seen from Klubnik that I really like is the fact that, one, you could tell he's got tremendous poise. And at this point, and I know it's high school football versus college, and you just don't know, right? But, at this point, I think there's a huge difference, and I think we've seen that with DJ Uiagalelei in being poised and being and I think the right word for DJ might be a little laissez-faire. And I think DJ lacks poise. I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time I've really said this, but in thinking about Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson and watching Cade Klubnik at high school, and even if you watch DJ at high school, you might think that he was poised, but I think that the difference being is that DJ's just got this cool demeanor about him. And I don't think that necessarily being cool or laid back necessarily correlates to poise. And so that's the thing I think DJ really has to work on, is the fact that, you might not get, quote, amped up or caught up in the moment or whatever, but that doesn't mean you have poise. You might not get, butterflies and things of that nature, but it doesn't mean that you're poised when you have to make plays. And so, watching Cade Klubnik play, I like the poise that he's got. I like the way that he's in control of himself. And I think that much like Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson, that's probably the number one thing about him that makes you feel good, having him come in to Clemson and be a part of this program. Like, you talk about arm talent and making the right throws and his ability to pull the ball down and make plays out of the pocket. That's all there. There's no questioning that fact. But again, that's at the high school level. What I think translates to being a great player at the next level is that ability to be calm, cool, and collected and make plays. And DJ Uiagalelei has some of that, but I don't think he's got all of that at this point in his career. And I don't know, and I've said in the past, I think maybe part of the situation that we saw and the issues that we saw for these players came from NIL and the impact that it had just mentally on guys to know that There was money on the line in this scenario, and certainly there is always when you were trying to get, quote, drafted. But even still, I think that, from the standpoint of Clemson football moving forward, next year I expect DJ to be the starter. Like, I don't think that Cade Klubnik comes in and beats DJ out for the job. I think that DJ will, however, play his final season at Clemson next year. Whether he really wants to or not, I think next year's his final year at Clemson. And whether it's a good enough season to go to the pros or not, with the transfer portal being what it is, if Cade develops during his first year on campus, DJ might opt to go somewhere else. Who knows? But I think next year's DJ's last year at Clemson, no matter what. It's hard for me to imagine 2 more years of DJ. And either to the NFL or maybe the transfer portal. But I think that this is going to be a key year in terms of DJ's development and his ability to absorb everything that's going on in a ball game while live bullets are flying and make the right throws. And I think that's why he sailed football. I mean, there's a lot of things I think DJ did poorly because I think he lacks poise. And I think that's the operable term of what you've been trying to figure out what's wrong with DJ Uiagalelei or why things aren't working out for him. Arm talent, sure. Poise, I think that's the thing. If he becomes more poised over the next, few months as we get into the season, man, he might have a great year. He might be the best quarterback in college football if he can settle in to himself. I don't think he did that this past year, but I do see that aspect in Cade Klubnik, at least at the high school level. And if it translates to college, then I think he's going to have a good career. With a quick break, we'll come back with more here on a Friday afternoon. Stay with us.
Hey guys, it's the season for giving as the holidays are here, and Peak Performance for Men is offering a promotion for any man struggling with erectile dysfunction. Receive an ultrasound, medical consultation, and blood flow analysis all for free when you call and schedule your appointment. Their treatment is drug-free, pain-free, surgery-free, and over 80% effective. They use a procedure called focused linear compression therapy, which is effective in revitalizing old blood vessels and helps grow new blood vessels. Achieve maximum blood flow where it counts most. Say goodbye to erectile dysfunction this holiday season. Don't wait any longer to pick up the phone and schedule your free appointment today. Call 803-302-8181. Peak Performance for Men has helped thousands of men achieve the intimacy they deserve, and they want to help you too. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Call 803-302-8181 to schedule your free consultation now and get ready for a new you in the new year.
Try great tasting Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar, and nutrients to support immune health. Those who tried Ensure Max Protein reported feeling more energy in just 2 weeks. For more information, including consumer survey details, please visit Ensure.com.
Look for a warm weekend, and we will see some rain. The focus will be Saturday evening into the good part of Sunday and eventually clearing late on Sunday. For Channel 25 ABC Columbia, I'm Chief Meteorologist John Farley.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the best place to listen for everything you're into, from comedy and motivation to popular podcasts and best-selling audiobooks. Right now, take advantage of a special holiday offer and save 60% on your first 3 months. Learn more and sign up at audible.com.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving supports victims of drunk driving, drug driving, and underage drinking at no charge. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. That's MADD.org.
We first opened about 10 years ago. We were small, just a few of us, but it was exciting. I always dreamt of having my own business. It was kind of slow at first, but things started picking up. We had big plans, but in our wildest dreams, we never thought we'd have this much work. Yeah, with so many businesses caught off guard by the storm, Reed Waste Management has never been busier.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, Visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
Sharing has never meant as much as it does now. We share the things we love most in life for the world to see. But what if we could actually do more with our sharing than just collect likes? What if this sharing could be used to make a difference? Now there's a place where we can put all that sharing to good use. The National MS Society is asking people to make a difference and share what they love with someone else who loves it too. Whether it's surfing, dancing, or whatever is important to you, we've created a place that'll help you get your experience out to the world. If you have a story, share it. If you have a solution, share that too. Join us at wearestrongerthanms.org, because together, we are stronger.
Broadcasting from the TrueCar.com studios, this is Columbia's Fox Sports Radio, 1400.
Clemson Sports Talk on a Friday afternoon. Some news out of College Station today. Some pretty big news. Actually, it kind of all started yesterday in Baton Rouge when the news came out. And I'll be honest, maybe we've seen this before, but Miles Brennan, who was the quarterback at LSU, went into the transfer portal, then announced that he's instead now out of the transfer portal and going to stay at LSU. Well, that happened, and then the news out of College Station came down that former LSU quarterback Max Johnson, whose brother just signed with Texas A&M, Max Johnson, actually going to go to Texas A&M, and ironically, and I think our buddy Billy Lucci over at TexAgs.com tweeted this tweet, and I thought it was pretty. What's the word? Not ironic. Pretty telling of the state of what we're dealing with here with college football. He said the last pass Max Johnson threw was a perfect 28-yard strike to beat Texas A&M 3 weeks ago. His next pass will be in maroon and white. If that doesn't scream, quote, welcome to the portal era, I don't know what does. And that's a fantastic point. I mean, look, I mean, I was all over Kenny Pickett earlier and Kenneth Walker. I mean, yeah, that's a terrible, terrible look for those guys sitting out. But, I sit here today and think about the portal and the fact that in one scenario, you have Miles Brennan go in. And normally when the guy goes in, at least at Clemson, that's kind of been the case. Once you're in, you're in. That's it. It's a one-way portal, man. It's like hitting the flush button on that toilet. You're gone. Brennan comes back to LSU. And then Johnson leaves and goes to A&M. A team that 3 weeks ago he threw a touchdown pass to defeat. I mean, think that is just wild. But that's where we are. And there's no sitting out. There's just, hey, it is what it is. 803-450-0086 text line, phone line. 803-450-0086. It is the show that shakes the Southland Clemson Sports Talk each and every afternoon. As you make your way around the great state of South Carolina from 4 until 6 o'clock, we rock and roll with you. Now, all next week we are off. And I try to do a pretty good job of making sure that we keep you aware of that as we head towards Clemson's bowl matchup, December the 29th against Iowa State. Now, tomorrow and tomorrow, I should say, not Friday. Today's Friday. Saturday, Clemson will actually get a chance to hear from Wes Goodwin. We'll get a chance to hear from Mickey Kahn and Brandon Streeter. The Tigers are on the practice fields today. A couple of little things that I do want to catch you up on. As far as Clemson goes, getting ready, DJ Uiagalelei still in a knee brace at practice today up in Tiger Town, and had a splint on his right index finger. Nolan Turner was in a walking boot, and nobody thinks that it sounds like it's just precautionary at this point. And then Kobe Pace was not at practice, but was, according to reports, attending a family matter. I know that the running backs, Will Shipley and Phil Maffa and Kobe Pace, have all been a little bit banged up. Certainly these weeks have to be helping them having a little bit of time off. Phil Maffa, according to reports, not looking exactly 100%. Joey Gada was in green today, a non-contact jersey. And his career at this point, physically, you just look at him, looks the part, but always injured. Just seems to be always injured. Balin Spector, of course, not going to be playing in the bowl game after having some surgery on his right hand, and he was there as well at practice in the cast, but not doing a lot of work. And so, again, you got several things there. Maybe the most notable deal, though, is the fact that, again, with your new defensive coordinator, Wes Goodwin, stepping in, we saw the video. You can go watch it over on ClemsonSportsTalk.com right now with Don Munson as Clemson had their early signing period. And he interviews Goodwin right out of the gate, much more reserved, you would say, than Brent Venables. Dabo Swinney's already joked, no, he's not going to need a get-back guy, but it seems like by all accounts today, even at practice, just a much more cerebral, reserved approach to the position. Now, look, it is a lot to take on if you're Wes Goodwin. There is no doubt about that. And again, Brent Venables was one of my favorite people to interview. Because it just felt so raw and real, and you didn't feel like he was holding anything back. And on the sidelines, again, the thing I think about is like there's a gif out there of him like doing almost like a machine gun, like he's in Commando or something. The old movie back in the 80s, and just like a Red Bull and bubblegum kind of guy. And Wes Goodwin just feels like a laid back dude. Like I don't know another way to put it. Like I said the other day, and again, I think the best description I can give you, if I saw Wes Goodwin at Clemson in and around the football facilities, I would literally think, dude, did you get all the towels folded correctly? Are the shoes laid out in the right spot? Did you get the helmets turned right? Because the social media team is going to be coming in a few minutes and taking some pictures of the locker room. Like, he just looks like somebody that and look, there's nothing wrong with that task. There's nothing wrong with being that guy on the staff. Like, that's an important staff position. And maybe there's not a quote look, but if you saw Wes Goodwin, that's what you think he would do. Instead, now he's your defensive coordinator, and he's a much less intense guy at this point in his career than Brent Venables. And it will be interesting to see how he, the metamorphosis, if you will, of Wes Goodwin. I think it's going to be intriguing to watch. Stay with us.
Are you thinking about refinancing your home to get cash out for college, a renovation, or to pay off debt? The last thing you want to do is pay thousands of dollars in unnecessary closing costs just to access the equity in your home. After all, you have plans for that money. Cap your closing costs with Cap Center, your local South Carolina lender.
We just helped a client who was a professional chef finance the remodeling of his dream kitchen. By avoiding typical closing costs, he had even more money to put towards the premium quality he had hoped for. So the cash out refinance has been a win-win-win for him. We were able to get his rate down. He's using the cash for something he is passionate about, and the money is actually going back into his home.
Cap your closing costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When a physician you trust moves on, it's deflating. When that physician returns, it's worth celebrating. Welcome home, Dr. Paul Espinoza of Espinoza Vein Institute. Yes, Dr. Espinoza is back in Lexington, caring for patients, former and new. As a trusted, respected, certified vein specialist, he offers personalized, compassionate treatment in a private practice that feels like home. Espinoza Vein Institute. Healthy legs, a step away.
Come rain or shine, high winds or mild breezes, blue skies or gray. It's a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
What makes the holidays so magical? Oddly enough, it's not magic. It happens when something appears right when you need it, like the holiday gifts you ordered and had delivered with the Home Depot app. Or when you can build something out of nothing by watching our holiday how-to videos. Or when you know what an object is just by snapping a photo with image search on our app. These things don't take magic. Nope, you just need the impressive technology behind our app. Make the holidays yours with a little help from the Home Depot app. How doers get more done.
Are you one of those people who thinks it's okay to drive stoned? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You end up driving below the speed limit? It's no big deal, right? Wrong. The truth is, your reaction times slow way down when you're high. You not only put yourself in danger, but everyone around you. Talk about a buzzkill. Stop kidding yourself. It's not okay to drive high. If you've been using marijuana in any form, do not get behind the wheel. If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
Have you ever wanted to know what's inside the vault at NFL Films? Well, I've got the keys, and I'm going to let you in. I'm Andrea Kramer, and I'm thrilled to be hosting this podcast where I go inside the NFL Films vault for raw, unedited conversations between the legendary former head of NFL Films, Steve Sable, and some of the greatest figures in NFL history. Listen to NFL Films Tales from the Vault on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
A message from Food Addicts in Recovery Anonymous.
I came to Food Addicts in Recovery Anonymous overweight and depressed. I was dieting, binging, stealing food, and lying about it for years.
For help, call 781-932-6300 or visit foodaddicts.org.
I knew I had a weight problem. I didn't know I was addicted to food.
The FA program gave me a healthy body. I'm free from obsessing about my weight or food.
Call FA 781-932-6300 or visit us on our website at foodaddicts.org.
Fox Sports Radio 1400. Online at foxsportsradio1400.com. On your phone with the iHeartRadio app and on hundreds of devices like Alexa, Google Home, Xbox, and Sonos. An iHeartRadio station.
Final segment of hour number one here on a Friday afternoon. You know, I mentioned yesterday late in the show about the situation with COVID-19 in the NBA and the NFL. Well, according to sources, the Los Angeles Raiders and Cleveland's Brown game will be moved to Monday. It was actually scheduled for Saturday, but they're going to move that game. And Sunday's game between the Seahawks and Rams is being moved to Tuesday, and there's potential that more games will be moved. This is, you know, it's kind of wild when you think about it, the fact that these leagues have done so well for so long with, you know, COVID-19 mitigation strategies, et cetera. And I'm intrigued to find out, you know, if this is about the Omicron variant of the virus. But as of Friday morning, the Browns have had a total of 24 players, 12 starters, and a punter who tested positive for COVID-19 this week. The Rams have had 25 players on the COVID-19 list, including Odell Beckham Jr., Jalen Ramsey, Von Miller, and others. Los Angeles had 21 players added to the list since Tuesday. So certainly, one of the things that we are seeing here, I think maybe more than anything else, is the fact that the level of contagiousness, if that's the word, apparently of this new COVID-19 variant, or the variants currently, is just even greater than what it's been in the past. I also think there's probably, and of course I'm not a virologist or whatever that terminology is, but there's probably some of the fact that people have sort of loosened up some of their practices, probably not washing their hands as frequently, not socially distancing as frequently, not being quite as concerned about it as they once were. But you are, again, it's amazing. It is December the 17th, 2021, heading into nearly 48 months of COVID-19. And yet we are still seeing this uptick taking place. So again, the bowl games, I talked earlier about players opting out of bowl games. That will be, I think, a storyline in some of these bowl games, perhaps, is the guys who are unable to play because they end up being in the COVID-19 protocol, when that was such a big deal. Remember in the 2020 season, that was like the whole storyline of the 2020 college football campaign, was like what players were in, what weren't. And in 2021, honestly, the entire year, we really didn't. How often did you hear about it? Not much at all. You had packed stadiums. You had very few incidents where players were out during that entire year. I know South Carolina men's basketball team has had a recent outbreak, and they play Clemson tomorrow. And Brad Brownell was, asked about that earlier today, and Brownell's statement on it was simply that, kind of that, we're getting perhaps into it now more than anything. And there's a possibility, I guess, that these two teams, the game could be called off, I guess. We'll see what happens. Right now, the plan is to play, but you just never know. Brad Brownell said, we're not certainly out of the woods here with the pandemic. We might just be getting started with everyone going indoors. So it is a weird situation. I think because a year ago, the entire season was about COVID prevention and who's in the protocol and what players are going to be able to play. And then we have this entire year where it's hardly even mentioned. Guys are healthy. That you don't have players all that often, testing positive. There's not like rampant spread. And then all of a sudden, you hear the news of this Omicron variant out of South Africa, and then it lands in the United States. And now, and again, I don't know if this is what's causing this, but you're seeing it in these leagues, and it's hitting, like I said, 25 players on a team. And now I think you do have to wonder about college basketball season. I did see that there was a team, maybe Northeastern. I honestly, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But I think maybe Northeastern said they're not going to have fans in their arena for at least a couple of weeks or something like that. Like they're shutting it down for a while. So, it will, I think, be something to follow here during the holidays as everybody gathers back, and then certainly school and kids going back. I know up in the state of New York, there have been some universities that are going fully online again. So it's just kind of wild how the ebbs and the flows of this virus. It does seem to come in waves, and we are clearly walking into a wave at this point. And, for me, the thing about it is when I got sick a couple of weeks ago, I didn't think anything of the fact that, we might be entering like this sort of, I don't want to say new era of COVID-19, but sort of another, wave of this, this virus. And I may have just been one of the people on the front of it taking place. Again, 803-450-0086 text line, phone line. Again, be a part of the program anytime, any place, anywhere. Again, you can watch Clemson's full early signing day event over on our website right now, clemsonsportstalk.com. Go check that out. Also, going to have that interview with Ellis Johnson up for you over the weekend, as well as Clemson prepares to take on the Iowa State Cyclones. Speaking of which, Clemson Tom joins us in hour number 2 here on the show that shakes the Southland, as we'll catch up with Tom. He's down in Orlando, Florida, where Clemson will be playing in that bowl game. Looking forward to hearing from Tom, hear how he's doing, find out about his holiday season as we get closer and closer to Christmas. By the way, again, programming note, I am off all next week. All next week, a little vacay. We actually return not the following Monday, but that Tuesday. I think the 28th is when we'll be back with you. We hit hour number 2 right after
Clemson
this.
Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Platte Springs at Old Orangeburg Road. Also a tie-up, 2-notch at Windsor Lake. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line number is 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Audible is the best place to listen for everything you're into, from comedy and motivation to popular podcasts and best-selling audiobooks. Right now, take advantage of a special holiday offer and save 60% on your first 3 months. Learn more and sign up at audible.com.
The world is upside down and millions of Americans are out of work. Debt keeps rising, and yet taxes and interest rates are at historically low levels. What's going to happen next? Oh, I don't know. Space monkeys could arrive. Times like these, it is important to do your homework and be prepared, especially if you're near retirement. Hi, it's Glenn Beck. This is not the time to go it alone and hope for the best. I want you to call Pat Struby today and find out what he can do for you right now. Do what other families just like yours have done for over 20 years. Call the team at Preservation Specialists. Call 803-9-RETIRE and schedule a complimentary phone or video consultation. Pat Struby and his team at Preservation Specialists are local and independent. Their focus is you and your retirement. So call 803-9-RETIRE. Schedule a complimentary consultation and be prepared for your retirement years. 803-9-RETIRE.
Glenn Beck has been remunerated and is not a client. Investment advisory services offered through Kalos Capital Inc. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Let me tell you who I trust to protect my home and my family. Modern Exterminating. Hey, it's Lawton Swan, and when you need top quality service from a team that knows what bugs you, call Modern Exterminating. 765-2315. They're locally owned and offer a full complement of pest elimination services, including complete pest control, termite plans, moisture control, and more. Check out Modern Exterminating online at pestfreesc.com or give them a call today, 765-2315. Modern Exterminating. They know what bugs you.
For 28 years, the professional staff of the Hobbs Group and Hobbs Group Advisors has been dedicated to helping others achieve their financial goals by delivering quality, objective financial and accounting solutions to a diverse client base of individuals and businesses all over South Carolina. We offer tax and audit services, bookkeeping, payroll, litigation support, employee benefits, personal financial planning, investment management, and insurance services. Please call us at 803-799-0555 or visit our website, hobbscpa.com, to learn more about our people and services.
Our military service members volunteer to protect us in the most dangerous places around the world. They step up. And when they are severely ill or injured, returning to their families is only the beginning of their long road home. Beyond all the hospitals and doctors and surgeries they need just to survive, they also deserve whatever they need to truly live. All the in-home care and day-to-day help they need to live independently on their own terms. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs were established to provide these brave men and women whatever they need to continue their fight for independence at no cost for life. So many of them need us, and it's time for a grateful nation to step up. Find out how you can do your part at findwwp.org.
Jason Alexander for the Will Rogers Institute.
Everyone thinks they know about asthma, but did you know that over 15 million people in our country suffer from the disease? Or that it causes more hospital visits, lost work days, and school absences than any other chronic illness? that its symptoms, shortness of breath, tightness in your chest, and a persistent cough or wheezing, can be signs of real danger.
For your free booklet, visit wrinstitute.org or call toll-free 877-957-7575. And find us on Facebook and Twitter.
WCOS Columbia, Fox Sports Radio 1400, an iHeart radio station available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
It's time for Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan.
Just call me Swanny.
Tiger style. Tiger style.
It is hour number 2. That's drive time right here on the show that shakes the South Lake Clemson Sports Talk. And of course, on a Friday, Clemson Tom joins the program. Tom, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well.
I am doing well. It's almost Christmas. New Spider-Man's out. I'm excited for that. I got golf tournaments. I got Spider-Man. It's insane. Good
Okay,
times.
so
Good times.
you said Christmas, then you brought up movies. Let me ask you, what is the go-to, since we're off next week, by the way, for the holidays, what is the go-to Christmas movie at the Clemson Tom household?
Oh man, for me, it doesn't get any better than National Lampoon's Christmas. That's my favorite one. We do like the Christmas Without a Santa Claus. That's always the good one.
Which one is that? The claymation with the redheaded guy?
Yeah, claymation. And
Never
then
seen
got
it.
like the two brothers that don't like each other. One's Mr. Frozen, and the other one's Heat Miser. Winter, I don't know. And then you can't go wrong with A Christmas Story with the Red Ryder BB gun. I mean, that's just instant classics. That's one of the best ones. That's probably my favorite. The Grinch, like the new Grinch that just came out.
The cartoon,
Man.
not Jim Carrey.
Yeah, not Jim Carrey one. The one that came out like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Something like that.
It seems like a solid selection so far. I am a little bit saddened that you don't bring up my personal all-time favorite.
Which is Die Hard.
I actually watched that the other day. It's a Wonderful Life, which by the way, in fairness, Die Hard is a Christmas movie. There are a lot of Christmas references in that movie.
Yeah, it's not a Christmas movie. It just takes place around Christmas, not a Christmas movie. However, A Wonderful Life, I got on that one a few years ago, and I saw it one time, and I thought it was amazing. So it's kind of been off my radar only because I only saw it one time a few years ago. But I will tip my hat to you on that one. That's a great one. What about Gremlins?
Okay, so when I was a kid, I liked Gremlins. And then I watched it with my kids, and I thought, I can't believe my parents allowed me to watch this movie. That's what I thought.
I'm going to have to agree with you.
Like when they put that gremlin in a microwave and turn it on.
He exploded. Oh my gosh, yeah. And it's kind of like,
where were my parents?
Mine, I don't know where mine were. I mean, I was free to roam back in the day. Mine were just working. As long as they're like, hey, he's in that room, he ain't talking. He ain't breaking anything. Just leave him alone. I was probably like a gremlin myself, just he's not breaking anything. Just leave him there. Don't feed him after midnight. That was me.
All right, Tom, let me ask you this. Lots of changes in Tiger Town. You're kind of a Brent Venables guy more so than a Tony Elliott guy. If I had to, pick who's more your spirit coach, your thoughts on Brent Venables leaving to go to Oklahoma?
I'm excited for him. I'm proud of him. Honestly, he deserves it. End of the day, though, I'm going to miss him. I'm always going to root for him no matter what, unless he plays Clemson. But no, I'm excited for him, man. We knew it was going to come eventually. He's turned down a lot of head coaching jobs, and Oklahoma just opened back up to him. That's technically that's home for him. But what he did, how he left, and everything else, he did it the right way. He even told some of the recruits that decommitted. He's like, "Hey, rethink your decision. That's a good place." So, not a lot of guys are going to do that after they leave. So, I'm going to miss Brent.
Again, we're hanging out with Clemson Tom. You can follow him on Twitter at Clemson Tom. How about Tony Elliott taking the head coaching job at Virginia? I mean, you look at this offense, this year was not up to the standard that people expect, but I mean, it's been a heck of a run with Tony Elliott as the OC.
No, it has. And I'm excited for Tony as well. I know a lot of the fans are like, oh, Tony doesn't the play calling. That really wasn't all on Tony. I mean, yeah, he's doing the play calling, but you're only doing the play calls that we can run. And if we can't run all the plays, then we can't run all the plays. So let's take a step back and, let's not point the finger. I'm really excited for him. When he was with Furman, someone told me he was going to be a head coach somewhere, and they would not be surprised if it was Clemson. Ever since then, I've liked him. Got a chance to, meet him a few different times. Great guy, good family man. A really funny story. Him and Jeff Scott, when they both got promoted to be co-offensive coordinators, 9 months later, they both had kids almost the exact same day. I think it was the exact same week. I always thought that was really funny.
I did not read the tea leaves on that one.
As soon as they both got promoted, 9 months later, they had kids almost at the exact same time, which I thought was amazing timing. I'm excited for Tony as well. I think he's going to do a good job at Virginia. He's got a lot of work to do, but I think he'll do just fine.
I know that a lot of people maybe aren't, quote unquote, paying attention to the bowl season quite like they are typically, with it being a matchup in the Cheez-It Bowl, although I did wake up feeling the cheesiest today, Coach. But
me too.
I thought it was hilarious or ironic, and I know Brent Venables isn't coaching, and I know Tony Elliott isn't coaching, but Oklahoma, Virginia, and Clemson are 3 of the 4 bowl games on December. All 3 teams will be playing on the same day. Going to be kind of wild.
It is going to be kind of wild. They're playing in Orlando, by the way, for the Cheez-It Bowl. Got my tickets. You coming down?
Tom, I am not feeling the cheesiest on a trip to Orlando. I'll be honest,
That's
man.
Your fault. Go ahead and turn in your orange. I thought
just
this was
get
the Tiger Sports Show.
That's what
Is it
somebody
not?
said. They said if it was the national title, you'd be there.
You would be there. You know what? What's the weather like there? Is it kind of fair? A little fair weather there in Columbia?
It's fair weather. I'll be honest, man.
What's the weather like there?
If I wasn't just getting over COVID, I think I probably would go. But
it's in 2 weeks. You got plenty of time.
Well, I don't know. You might talk me into it, Tom.
If I got to talk you into coming to Orlando, where the weather's beautiful, to watch your Tigers play Iowa State in the Cheez-It Bowl, which isn't the most glamorous, but it's still in Orlando. It's a drive away. It's 5 hours on the dot for you. Trust me, I made that drive plenty of times. Mama, living in Columbia. You can do this. If you need a hotel, brother, I'll take care of you. I'll get you a good rate at one of the Marriott's downtown. The families can unite, and I can show you around Orlando. The tickets aren't expensive. I'm hosting a huge party the night before, teamed up with the alumni group. So it's the Clemson Tom / Clemson alumni party. Got a guy from Nashville coming, live music, drink specials, food specials, the whole nine. It's a free entry. I don't know what else you need.
You're
man.
talking me into this. I mean, I feel like I'm being talked into it here.
I'm not talking you into it, but what's the name of your radio show?
Clemson Sports Talk.
That's right. So we're talking Clemson sports. And I got the host who started in his spare bedroom.
That's true.
Got promoted to the top podcast. Then got promoted in Columbia, in the backyard of our rival.
No lies
And he
here.
hosts a show. He hosts a show that talks about Clemson sports. And he's not going to come drive 5 hours to watch the Tigers play Iowa State when they have 2 new coordinators for the first time coaching? Okay. Well, good luck.
You might be talking me into it, Tom. I mean, I hadn't really considered.
You are the pinnacle of Clemson sports talk in Columbia, and you're not going to make the trip. I can see if you're like, I can't afford it. I got the wife, got the kids, the whole nine. I'm telling you, Swanny, you're going to fill up your gas tank 2 times. One in Columbia, then you're going to fill up again right outside of Orlando, right around Daytona, and that's going to get you into Orlando. It's 95 to I-4. Actually, it's 26.95 I-4. You're making one big backward C, and then you're here in 5 hours. That's basically, you're going to watch The Godfather 1. You're going to start Godfather 2, but then it's going to end. So it's fine. It's an easy trip. It's highway the whole way. If you're not here, I'm going to be disappointed in you.
It's also on a Wednesday.
Well, it's great that you also have an opportunity to where your job's not going to require you to be there that week. It's the end of the year, Swanny. Tiger up. You know when your kid gets hurt, you're like, man up. You need to tiger up. Tiger up, Swanny. Put on your orange.
What about the listeners? I got to be live that day. I'm leading into the show. I'm leading into the game.
Imagine this. We get a Wi-Fi connection somewhere, and we go live like we did when we were in Miami. Imagine
at the
that.
North Miami Beach Ale House.
Exactly. And it's going to be you and me going live. I'll help you out if you want to come. We'll get you set up somewhere, and then we'll go live. Or you take the day off and you tell your listeners, don't listen to me. Go watch your Tigers play tonight, buddy, because the kickoff's at 5:30. So technically, no one's really going to want to listen to you that day because the kickoff's at 5:30.
Tom, my man. All right, let's get back into the coordinator situation at Clemson. Your thoughts on the hiring of Wes Goodwin as defensive coordinator? Relative unknown. Listen, I've never judged a person more by their looks as a coach in my life. This guy just feels like somebody that if I came to your tailgate would be standing over there eating chicken wings and having a good time.
I talked to Tim Bray last night, and I asked him about this guy.
Yeah.
He said he was Brent Venables' number one dude. He was surprised he didn't go with Brent to Oklahoma. I was told by Clemson Google himself, he's got a photographic memory. So that being said, I'm interested to see what happens. You know, people are like, I like the hire. I don't like the hire. You know what? I don't care what you like or what you don't like. Let's see what the man can do first. I'm not gonna judge a book by the cover yet. I want to see what's going to happen. So that's just me. You know, a lot of people thought Will Muschamp was going to do great. They judged the book by its cover because he's passionate, he's big, he's loud, he's out there. The man can't coach a Madden team on PlayStation. So that's all I'm going to say. Let the man do his thing. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. What if it does work out? You know, Tiger up, Tiger Nation. Let's see what the man can do.
Well, that's what somebody said to me the other day. They said, "Look, man, at the end of the day, this guy could be a big discount. Like you could be getting like a."
You don't know. We don't know. I'm excited.
On the offensive side of the ball, Brandon Streeter, a name we do know. Your thoughts on Streeter taking over for Clemson on the offensive side?
Let's see what he does. I don't know if Streeter can be a good offensive coordinator. Dabo apparently thinks so. Dabo has yet to let me down. The man's won a few national championships, a lot of ACC championships, and a lot of winning seasons. And we lived in, honestly, the peak of Clemson football as of late. No one can deny that. So if he thinks the best guy for the job, then I'm going to listen to the head coach that's taking me to a few national championships already, and we've won two. I mean, this is the first year that I can remember we're not in the playoffs. If he thinks these two are the ones that can get it done, then who am I to say he's wrong?
We shall see how it all works out. Again, Clemson and Iowa State, December the 29th in Clemson, Tom's hometown, Orlando, Florida. That matchup set to kick off at 5:45 in the p.m. So I know you talked about getting people together and having a good time and everything that's going to be going on in Orlando. Yep. Tom, have you had a chance at all to look into Iowa State? I know the coach Matt Campbell's got a lot of excitement around that program. A year ago, certainly there was a lot of excitement. It may have dwindled just a bit. All that being said, what are you thinking about it when it comes down to this matchup?
The Cyclones are a good football team. I've been a fan of theirs for a while. Not a while, maybe like 2 seasons, because Iowa State's never really been anything in football, but as of late, they've kind of turned it around. And the only Matt Campbell I like is the one that used to play for Clemson a few years ago. This guy has got his running back. I think he's averaging like 200 yards a game. Tim Bray was throwing out stats to me last night. I couldn't write them down fast enough. But I do recall Tim telling me that they got a good running back and apparently they got a good receiver. So we shall see how that works out. Hopefully some guys are getting rested up. I don't want to lose Iowa State. You know, if you're going to lose, you want to lose to somebody like an Alabama. You want to lose to, someone of blue blood. But Iowa State's just now coming up. I don't think Matt's going to be there for very much longer because he has turned that program around. So I don't want to be the team that he beats in order to get promoted. So we got to come out swinging. We got to come out swinging, and I'm looking at number 5.
It's a school record 5th consecutive bowl game for Iowa State. And I think the other thing, too, that probably makes people feel good about Clemson's chances, I mean, they were just 5-4 in the Big 12. So, I mean, it's not as if they've had the type year that they had a season ago. I will say this. Have you had trouble, because I have on the air, not saying Ohio State? I've had a tough time all week not saying Ohio State instead of Iowa State.
No, I'm a pretty good reader. I know who my team's going to play. I travel to go watch my team play, especially if it's 5 hours away, and the tickets are cheaper and the hotels are cheaper. And I got a good friend of mine that's going to take care of me in his hometown. So no, I have no problems reading the brochure that tells me who I'm going to play. Once again, Swanny, I'm going to tell you, Tiger up.
Tom is feeling the cheesiest today, Coach. I'll say that. Tom is definitely feeling the cheesiest today.
I am.
Clemson and Iowa State again, December the 29th. They'll be kicking things off. Tom, final thing for you. Early signing day, a dandy dozen, a second dandy dozen for Dabo Swinney and the team. Obviously, the 3 guys out of IMG Academy down there in Bradenton, Florida, end up going to 3 different institutions, which is kind of wild. Alabama, Michigan, and Georgia. But just your thoughts on Clemson's signing class, and I know there are a lot of people that aren't overly excited about the group. I mean, what are your thoughts on what you saw a couple of days ago?
We got some good guys. I would have liked it to be a little bit better, obviously.
What do you think of Cade Klubnik, the quarterback out of Texas?
Well, someone says he's a Texas version of Trevor. So we shall see. I don't put a lot of stock into recruiting rankings and everything else because I've seen too many cats come in with 0 stars and end up being Pro Bowl wide receivers. I've seen cats come in 5 stars, the next greatest thing. They get hurt and never hear from them again. See guys coming in, oh my gosh, this guy is amazing. And then they can't complete a pass to save their life. I don't buy into the rankings because I've seen too many things get swayed. So my thing is, if he's a 5-star, that means he's got some talent. So let's see what happens. Is he fully developed, or do we need to develop him? So I'm interested to see what happens. I'm interested to see what the quarterback competition looks like next year. I wouldn't be surprised when we got somebody else taking snaps. So that's how I feel.
One final thing, you got me thinking for whatever reason. I don't know. Something you said there triggered this in my mind. Oh, you said Trevor Lawrence. Give us your thoughts on what's going on at Jacksonville with Urban Meyer being out now and all of that, because I know you follow it.
That's all they talk about on the local sports talk. So Urban, he kicked a player and he cussed at him and he's like, "Don't kick me." He's like, "I can do whatever I want." The head football coach. He alienated the team. He alienated his coaches. He called them all losers and everything else. He basically just walked in there and made like no friends. So the day he got fired, he left practice, took all the game notes for the game this Sunday when they play, whoever they're playing, I don't even know who's playing, took all the prep notes, and then he got fired at midnight. So they are now preparing for a team, and they don't have anything. They're basically starting fresh from scratch. So who knows? Hopefully they go out there and win. I mean, that would be an amazing win. Urban finally leaves and they get the 3rd win. But Urban was not good for the team. No one liked him. The city of Jacksonville didn't like him. I think everyone sees him for who he really is after everything, on and off the field. But somewhere somebody's going to give him another chance, and he's going to be like, "I've changed my ways," but he's not going to change his ways, man. He showed who he really was, how he left Florida. He left him twice, and it's just Urban's probably one of the worst people out there, character-wise, and he preaches character. But the proof's in the pudding.
How How in the world? Well, you know what? We don't have time, Tom. I was going to ask you a little bit more about the Urban Meyer situation because I know, like you say, you follow it, man, being down there in Florida. Nonetheless, Tom, have a Merry Christmas. Always appreciate you, buddy, and can't wait to catch up with you soon.
Yes, Merry Christmas. Tell the family I said hello. Tiger up, and I'll see you on the 29th, or actually the 28th.
There you go. Clemson Tom here on a Friday afternoon. 803-450-0086. Clemson up, he says. I got to be here for the people on the air. Stay with us.
Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
A wreck on Platte Springs at Old Orangeburg Road. Also a tie-up, 2-notch at Windsor Lake. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line number is 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Take the shortcut to your next great hire. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, Instant Match immediately delivers a list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
When a physician you trust moves on, it's deflating. When that physician returns, it's worth celebrating. Welcome home, Dr. Paul Espinoza of Espinoza Vein Institute. Yes, Dr. Espinoza is back in Lexington, caring for patients, former and new. As a trusted, respected, certified vein specialist, he offers personalized, compassionate treatment in a private practice that feels like home. Espinoza Vein Institute. Healthy legs, a step away.
Hi, Scott here with Traditions Fine Jewelers. If you've shopped with us before, then you know you don't need to wait for a sale to get a terrific price on jewelry because we feature low prices every day. But sometimes we do come across absolutely crazy values, and we're happy to pass those savings on to you. Like this week, we scored a major deal on 1/2 carat and 1 carat diamond studs. Imagine just $399 and $999, and they're gorgeous. So come see us this week and get a great deal on studs. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset in Lexington, or visit our new Sandhills location across from the fountain, where the Midlands get engaged.
Hi, I'm Alicia Kaufman Quinton. My daddy, Billy Kaufman, opened Kaufman's Meat Plant at our present location in 1955. My family still works hard every day to ensure fresh quality cuts of beef, pork, and poultry. How about a tasty T-bone, ribeye, or New York strip steak? But to order at Kaufman's Meat Place. Just look for the signs near the intersection of US 1 and I-20 in Lexington. Call us at 356-0076 to place your order. Kaufman's Meat Place, when you want the very best your money can buy.
They'll challenge your authority. They'll try to break your will. They'll push you to the edge of your sanity. Because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, not theirs. Defend it. Who makes the payments? Who cleans it? Who drives it? You do. That's who. And in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch. Until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup.
Ever think of light bulbs as being cool? They are if you choose energy-efficient bulbs and fixtures that have earned the government's Energy Star label. They're so hot, they're cool. Because they burn cooled and last up to 10 times longer, you save money and oodles of energy. Change a light, help the environment, save some green. The solution is as close as your nearest lamp socket. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
To some, a baby's babbling doesn't mean much, but it does. Especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Looking for South Carolina's favorite country? You'll find it at 97.5 WCOS.
always great to catch up with Clemson Tom. Again, thank you all for being a part of the show here on a Friday afternoon. 803-450-0086, text line, phone line, Clemson Sports Talk, the show that shakes the Southland each and every day, Monday through Friday. Again, we're off all next week, though. Going to be off for the holidays. Coming back on Tuesday, the 28th. Of course, Clemson plays their bowl game on Wednesday, the 29th. Tom, now, Swanny, you got to come down here. Got to be in Orlando. You know, I really, while we were talking about it, I didn't think about the fact that I've got to do the show until about halfway through that. That's probably the reason I haven't planned on doing a whole lot as far as traveling down there for the game. Maybe I'll work it out. Maybe I can figure it out. I mean, look, we can do the show from anywhere. We don't have to be from the home front, from the Palatial 108 studios. No. We can knock it out from anywhere. Now I got to talk to the wife. Be like, hey, you want to go to Orlando? Maybe we can go down there and do the Universal Studios or something. I know everybody's like, oh, if you go to Orlando, you got to go to Disney World, right? Oh, not at this point. Maybe Orlando, maybe the Universal Studios. 803-450-0086. Then again, part of me just wants to relax. I mean, look, man, with my schedule, sometimes just want to take a minute to breathe. All right, so in the world of college football, bowl games are officially underway. So that, is exciting that it all kicked off today. It was kind of crazy. Like at noon, everything got rocking and rolling. I said this earlier this week. It's pretty crazy how quickly the bowl season got upon us. At least it felt like that for me. I mean, it felt like the bowl season hit pretty quickly. And, of course, coming up tonight, there'll be Coastal Carolina as the Chanticleers are taking on Northern Illinois in their bowl matchup. And, again, that game coming up at 6 o'clock on ESPN2. Of course, the opening matchup of the college football bowl season featured Middle Tennessee and Toledo. And I can remember doing shows, we would have like a show we would do during the Black Friday. When was it? Yeah, I guess that was Black Friday that we would do some radio telethons and stuff like that, or radiothons covering the college football scene. You have all these games on during the day, and that's kind of what today was like with Middle Tennessee and Toledo squaring off in the Bahamas Bowl, which, by the way, beautiful venue, with Middle Tennessee coming away with a victory today. But yeah, and by the way, for Middle Tennessee's program, what they finished the season 7-6, I think, on the year. Toledo also finished 7-6 after taking the loss. But yeah, it was kind of funny. Like at 10 o'clock in the morning, I started thinking, man, we got bowl games in 2 hours. And so there it is. Bowl season is official. It's underway. It's live. It's live. And then a host of games coming up tomorrow. I do want to give you the rundown on that schedule for you so that you know what your viewing pleasure is like as you head into the weekend. Plus, as I mentioned with the COVID thing earlier in the show, there's some NFL games and stuff this weekend as well. But tomorrow, I think there's 6 games on tap, including at 11 a.m., Western Kentucky versus Appalachian State in the I guess that's the Boca Raton Bowl on ESPN at 2:15. It'll be UTEP versus Fresno State in the PUBG New Mexico Bowl on ESPN. Then at 3:30, you've got UAB versus BYU. BYU, by the way, the 13th ranked program in the country at 3:30 on ABC. That's the Independence Bowl. You've got Eastern Michigan taking on Liberty at 5:45 on ESPN in the Lending Tree Bowl. You've got Utah State and Oregon State at 7:30 on ABC. That is the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl presented by Stifel or something. And then number 23 ranked Louisiana Lafayette Raging Cajuns will take on Marshall at 9:15 on ESPN. That is the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl. So that is your slate of games for Saturday. And the only other matchup that we've got coming up would be on Monday, Old Dominion versus Tulsa. And then you get into a litany of games I won't bother you with. But that's the slate for the weekend. 6 games tomorrow. And that'll be a busy, busy day of college football for you. So I don't know if you're in like a pick'em league or anything where you guys, make selections on bowl games, but I hope that you got all your picks in before kickoff of that Middle Tennessee Toledo game earlier today, because the little league that I'm in, dude, if you miss that window, that's it. You don't get to pick them at all. It's like you either pick one and get them all in before kickoff of the first one, or you're 0 for 43 for the playoffs. So, or for the postseason pick 'em. But I did get all my picks in with the guys I do a little fun pick 'em with. I just hope not to finish last. That's kind of always the goal. It used to be about winning. Now it's about just don't finish last. Don't be that guy. So, bowl season, man. It's rocking and rolling along. 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. That is your number again. And, of course, looking forward to covering the Clemson Tigers and the Iowa State Cyclones as that game kicks off on the 29th. That's next Wednesday. Clemson and, well, I guess technically not next Wednesday. What was it? 2 Wednesdays from now. Clemson and Iowa State facing off in the Cheez-It Bowl down in Orlando, Florida. 803-450-0086. 803-450-0086. Text line and phone line. Again, be a part of the show anytime, any place, and anywhere. When we come back, Trevor Lawrence talks about how he found out that Urban Meyer was out at Jacksonville. And I got to tell you, it is as spectacular and as modern as you can imagine it would be. We'll hear that right after this. Stay with us.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Aggressive driving, such as speeding, rapid acceleration, and hard braking, can lower your highway fuel economy by up to 40% and cost you up to $1.27 more per gallon in gasoline. Save money and reduce your transportation emissions by avoiding aggressive driving. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living, or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/Earth.
Lawton Swan here, and I know in sports we're always talking about the big guy. Well, let me tell you, when you're buying a car, you don't need that. What you need to do is head down to Orangeburg to my good friends at Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac. 4 generations of family-owned business right there at Ferry Chevrolet. No dock fees, no tricks, straightforward pricing in a low-pressure environment you'll love. Check them out online, ferrychevrolet.com, or call them 803-536-1600. It's Ferry Chevrolet Cadillac, just a short 30-minute drive off of exit 145A in Orangeburg.
This is Clay Travis. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Chargers head coach Brandon Staley's getting crushed today. And while I'm glad he stuck to his uber-aggressive MO, you can't be too predictable. Teams shouldn't always do one thing. You got to keep your opponent guessing. But the Chargers, say this, have an identity. And that's more than you can say about most teams in the NFL. You think Chargers, you think aggressive. And that matters. I'm Colin Cowherd.
Festivals, football, the great outdoors. Some people say fall is the best time of the year. It may also be a great time to consider getting vaccinated against COVID-19. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
iHeartRadio and Rock and Roll Hall of Famers, the Doobie Brothers, want to give you the VIP treatment at their exclusive Las Vegas engagement at the Zappos Theater at Planet Hollywood. We'll fly you to Vegas, put you up at a hotel, hand you premium tickets to their show, and you'll even get to enjoy a special VIP pre-show artist experience. Want to go? Just open the free iHeartRadio app and listen to Doobie Brothers Radio for your chance to win. It's that easy. The Doobie Brothers VIP experience in Vegas, only from iHeart. Discover music, radio, and podcasts you'll love.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. You're neutral to it. You hear it every time you finish a meal and never feel anything. But if we were able to associate this sound with a new stimulus, save the food, we've achieved pulling a natural response from you. Save the food. Why are we doing this, you may ask? Save the food. Because this ad is trying to change your after-meal behavior through brainwashing. Because food waste costs the average family $1,500 a year. Save the food. Cha-ching. And $1,500 extra bucks is like getting a pay raise. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted. Which could pay for your child's braces. Save the food. Cha-ching. You're promoted.
Check out my braces.
So when you hear this sound, rethink your behavior. Cook it, store it, share it. Just don't waste it. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
Type 2 diabetes is a serious chronic health threat in America. It affects tens of millions of people. Many people who have the disease don't know it. Diabetes can cause health problems such as heart disease, strokes, amputations, and blindness. Talk to your doctor, get screened if you're at risk, and learn how to avoid becoming one of the millions of new cases of diabetes each year. You can help prevent type 2 diabetes. A message from CDC and HHS.
Fox Sports Radio 1400, serving Columbia at 1400 and the world on the iHeartRadio app.
Clemson Sports Talk on a Friday afternoon. Lawton Swan with you. You remember when, well, at least when I was a kid, I can't say, I guess, when you were a kid, but remember you'd have the cartoon would be playing, one of the Warner Brothers cartoons, and there was like always this episode that would sort of look at the life of maybe like, quote, modern man or something like that. You know, it'd be like, the modern man makes his way to work via blah, blah, blah. And they like show a guy like doing something where the toaster's like popping out some toast as he's walking by, sort of a George Jetson futuristic kind of deal. I don't know how many of you remember that episode, but that's kind of what I thought of today when I had the chance to hear Trevor Lawrence talking about when he found out that Urban Meyer was no longer going to be the head coach at Jacksonville. And much like I, and probably many of you, I woke up to that on social media. Like I woke up and looked at my phone. I was like, what happened? Here's Trevor Lawrence's response.
I didn't find out till this morning. I woke up, I guess it was around, 6 or whatever, and saw it on my phone. So I had some texts, and then just naturally kind of Googled it to see what's going on. Just to be honest. So saw that and rolled over, told Marissa, hey, like this just happened. Be an interesting day at work. Like I'm gonna go in and see. So obviously it's not ideal. You look at where we're at. This is not where you imagine you'd be at this point, but you got to make the most of it. And I think we're going to do that. And I like where we're at. The positivity today, despite everything going on, was awesome. We had a great day.
Honestly, this is the part I love. And this is kind of what would, fit into that piece I was talking about with the cartoon, is that this is kind of how we all live at this point in terms of gathering news.
Then just naturally kind of Googled it to see what's going on. Just to be honest. The way Trevor responds, like the look on his face when he says that, because that's the reality of the moment. Like he wakes up, he's got some text messages, he finds out his coach is fired, and you just kind of go, what happened? You look into it and boom. And so now for the Jacksonville Jaguars, apparently Urban Meyer, as Tom mentioned, like left the facility, didn't bring anything, just took everything with him. It's kind of a weird situation, but they're going to
they're going to do what they can. And for Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, yeah, it's a very weird first season. Darrell Bevell going to take over. The offensive coordinator is going to be the new interim head coach. Charlie Strong is an assistant head coach on that staff. And as you've probably heard, all of the things that have been said about what Urban Meyer thought about his staff. Well, I want to say, Coach, who put the staff together? Like you, right? I mean, who are you faulting if you think you have a bad staff? Brian Schottenheimer, the passing game coordinator. I am interested to see if Eric Bieniemy ends up getting an opportunity there. I know Bieniemy, who's the offensive coordinator with the Kansas City Chiefs, has been a huge name in professional football circles. And I think about the offense that he's got, and I think about Trevor and Travis and the opportunity that might sit there for Shad Khan and the Jacksonville Jaguars to hire a guy like Bieniemy, who is so well thought of, and a guy that people have thought for years would end up being perhaps the a head coach in the NFL. Now, some other names that are out there, Byron Leftwich, who the offensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. One thing that's crazy about Byron Leftwich, he's the coordinator. I think I told you guys this maybe a few months ago. He's the coordinator for Tampa Bay. He's the offensive coordinator, obviously. He's younger than Tom Brady, the quarterback. So that is a name that's out there. Some other names that have been mentioned. Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys. Jim Caldwell is another one. And Caldwell's name's been brought up quite a bit. He's got experience, well-respected head coach in the NFL, and a name probably that won't go away because of just how bad the Urban Meyer situation was and how that's been, right? Like, you come to a point where it's like you look around and go, could we just get a grown-up in the room? And, Caldwell fits that description as much as anybody. So, I said yesterday, and I think we've been proven during time that, college coaches going to the NFL has not worked, has not been great. And this Urban Meyer experiment was a complete failure, a flop on all accounts. And I've seen people say, somebody's going to give him a chance again at the collegiate level. I disagree. I think this was it for Urban Meyer. I think just the way this went, I think the situation with the girl at the bar a couple of months ago, I think the video of him on that boat with that weird dude that was shirtless or whatever, and he's like signaling to get off of the Zoom video. I think all of that. I think the situation with the Smith kid and the situation there at Ohio State, I think Meyer's done. I don't even know, I'll be interested to see if Fox or ESPN or somebody gives him an opportunity on television. I think this has been a complete and utter failure and an embarrassment. And I think any legacy that he's had in terms of success as a head coach is besmirched. And I don't know how you fix it given the gaffes that he's had over the past 6 months or whatever it's been with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, it is just an absolute disaster. It has been an epic failure and an embarrassment. And I don't know that somebody's going to give him a chance to really fix that, if you will. Final segment of the week. And we're off for a week after that, right after this. Stay with us.
Are you thinking about refinancing your home, but worried that closing costs could cancel out any money you would save? It could happen. In fact, average closing costs for a $300,000 home in South Carolina are over $2,000. Yikes! How's that going to save you money? Cap your costs with a zero closing cost mortgage from Cap Center, your local mortgage lender.
This is our 6th time using Cap Center. And once again, the quality of service and speed of processing was excellent, and the savings are substantial.
This was my 3rd refinance with Cap Center. I've been very satisfied. The entire process is simple, never any surprises, and zero closing costs means zero closing costs.
Cap your closing costs. Visit capcenter.com. Equal housing lender. Visit capcenter.com for rates, savings, and offer limitations. This ad contains real client feedback voiced by actors. NMLS ID 67717. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
When a physician you trust moves on, it's deflating. When that physician returns, it's worth celebrating. Welcome home, Dr. Paul Espinoza of Espinoza Vein Institute. Yes, Dr. Espinoza is back in Lexington, caring for patients, former and new. As a trusted, respected, certified vein specialist, he offers personalized, compassionate treatment in a private practice that feels like home. Espinoza Vein Institute. Healthy legs, a step away.
Let me tell you about the fine folks over at General Dentistry of Lexington. Dr. Bennett Hammett and Dr. Rick Jackson can take care of all your dental needs. With TVs and headphones in every room, digital x-rays done in a flash, you can relax while their wonderful staff takes care of all your dental needs. 803-957-2297. Tell them you heard about them right here on the show that shakes the Southland and get $50 off your first visit. That's General Dentistry of Lexington, located at 109 Timber Mill Drive, right off of Highway 1.
Way back when, Columbia was a vast dining desert, a wasteland for fast, fresh, authentic Southwestern food. Weren't nothing bundled up nice and warm in a tortilla. Columbia needed Diablos. Southwestern the way you want it, the real deal, with no shortcuts in quality and served up as fast and fresh as you want it. Diablo Southwest Grill, Sunset Boulevard in Lexington. DiabloSouthwestGrill.com.
Jill, why didn't you tell the class what you did this weekend? Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home. Where were you, Jill? We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
What are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
Well, what are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. Don't you remember me? Don't you know that we miss you?
Miss me? Who misses me?
You know, all your friends in the forest. The trees, the pond, that little fort that you made out of branches. We all miss you.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
Oh, I guess that makes sense.
The forest is not that far away. Have an adventure today. I'm sure your mom would take you.
You're right. I should get out. I want to have fun. Play in puddles, catch frogs, and climb trees. Hey, Mom!
Yeah, hon? Steven, what is that in your hand?
It's my sense of adventure, Mom. It's telling me we need to get out of the house and have some fun in nature today. Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Holiday Lights on the River is back for another festive holiday season at Saluda Shoals Park. For a chance to win 2 passes, one for your family and one for someone else, log on to foxsportsradio1400.com/contests.
What have you done for me lately? It's a fair question. Just don't lose sight of the bigger picture. Don't forget history. Lucky for us at Clemson, the answer to the questions, what have you done for me lately, and what have you done always, are the same. We win.
Final segment on a Friday afternoon. Lawton Swan with you. Again, I guess you know what? Maybe it being the opt-out edition, I need to reset the opening take. So if you didn't hear what I had to say about Kenny Pickett and Kenneth Walker Jr. opting out of the Peach Bowl, you know what? Let's reset it. Get after it. And they are going to begin preparing for the NFL draft. The NFL draft, which is in what, April? You can get hurt getting out of the shower. You can get hurt running wind sprints. You can get hurt lifting weights, throwing the football. You don't have, like, remember in the movie Little Giants, when the kid's mom wraps him up in bubble wrap to send him to football practice? If you're Kenny Pickett, if you're Kenneth Walker, and you know what? Now that I say it out loud, maybe this is a referendum on Kennys. Don't be a Kenny. Why in the world, with this opportunity, the memories that you can make with your teammates, like, that's the problem here. That's what and if I'm an NFL executive, this bothers me. I mean, when we got Urban Meyer doing whatever in the world Urban Meyer's been doing since he's been at Jacksonville. By the way, don't be an Urban either. And I don't know if there's a Kenny Urban out there. I know there's a Keith, but poor Kenny Urban, I'm really on you today, buddy. But in this me first mentality that we see from so many people, how does this, if I'm an NFL executive, how do I look at a guy and go, well, at least he's about the team? Like that, it feels like the opposite of that. I mean, honestly, that is the thing that bothers me so much about this, guys. I think it is a testament to Clemson. And again, we don't have any players that I'm aware of opting out at Clemson. Dabo Swanny said nobody's opting out. And I guess at some point that'll happen. But you know what? When we talk about recruiting players into their character and to the guys that fit your program, that's what I feel like you're getting. You know, I think that's what you're looking for. Guys that aren't going to opt out on you. Guys that are going to be there, whether you're playing in the national championship or in the Cheez-It Bowl. And I mean, there's something to that, man. There's something to the culture. And again, as I said at the opening, like if you're Pat Narduzzi, you have every right to call out Kenny Pickett. Every right. And I know, look, man, well, he's this great quarterback and he did all this for your program. But at the end of the day, what was he about? What is Kenny Pickett about? Oh, I know. He had this blood, sweat, and tears that he poured into the program. Like, I get it. Cry me a river. But at the end of the day, he quit on his team. I mean, ahead of the biggest bowl game that program's had in 40 years. Give me a break. What a joke. Kenny Pickett, you're a joke. Your career's a joke. I mean, it's embarrassing. I got nothing else for you. I just cannot imagine. I just cannot imagine that even if it, like I said earlier, man, if it was my son, I would be so disappointed that you let down your team. You let down the people that loved you. And for what? The love of money? The belief that you're not going to somehow get hurt? You know, I mean, I don't want players to get hurt, but wouldn't it just be ironic if Kenny Pickett somehow blew out his knee? Yeah, I mean, wouldn't that just be if he just happened to step funny? I mean, like, what? Why are we trying to live in this world where you act like, you know, people don't just randomly get hurt? Text message to the program earlier in the show. HD in Charlotte hit us up. He said, Swanny, college football is no longer college football as we know it. It is that loyalty, education, integrity, and all that was good with college football no longer applies today. John in Archdale, North Carolina, hits us up and says, Kenny made a business decision to play in the Senior Bowl instead of Pitt's bowl game. Kenny was still in the running for the Heisman during the ACC championship game. That's a fair point. It's embarrassing, though, isn't it? What a disappointing thing. I mean, this is the modern era, folks. Welcome to college football 2021, where I got a photo. That I photoshopped or added color to of Banks McFadden running a football with a like a stick taped to his leg, like a splint wood, like a 2x4. I got that. And then you got Kenny Pickett opting out of the ballgame. Come on, man. I tell you what, the old saying, they don't make them like they used to. Yep. That applies. That applies more today for the Kenny Pickett's and the Kenneth Walkers of the world than maybe it ever has. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you so much again. We're off all next week. Full vacation, holiday season. Merry Christmas. Thank you all so much for supporting us. The website will still be rocking and rolling, though. Of course, it is ClemsonSportsTalk.com. Go check that out. And, again, put the .com on it. Doggone it. Follow us on Twitter at Clemson Sports. Until next Tuesday, I'm Lawton Swan. We got to get out of here. As always, y'all take care now. And, of course, go Tigers!
Clemson Sports Talk with Lawton Swan on Columbia's home for sports. Fox Sports Radio 1400. Now, Columbia's most dependable traffic, sponsored by Pope Davis Tire and Automotive, home of the best tire prices in Columbia, guaranteed. Fox Sports Radio 1400 traffic.
Look out for a wreck on I-20 westbound at the Broad River Road exit. Also an accident I-26 eastbound at the airport exit. The 103.5 FM WVOC traffic tip line numbers 343-1055.
This report is sponsored by Brakes for Less.
Brakes for Less is what we do. We know drums, rotors, pads, and shoes. It doesn't matter what kind of car you got. Call 888-261-STOP. All we do
are Brakes for Less.
Holiday tradition should be old. Your carpet cleaner? Definitely not. You need the advanced clean of Zero Res. Right now, get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for only $119. And when you mention this station, you will get a hallway clean for free. Schedule online at ZeroResColumbia.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel, language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
By popular demand, Great Southern Homes now lists their coming soon communities online. Whether you're looking for a new home in your hometown, moving to a new town, or just want your pick of choice lots, this is the place to start. Great Southern Homes invites you to put the wow in your new home with options and upgrades. Live green, live smart in your new green smart home. Show your style and personalize your new home with options and upgrades from Great Southern Homes. Find your dream home today, GreatSouthernHomes.com.
There are many sounds in your day-to-day life. There are sounds that wake you up. Sounds that make you smile. Sounds that energize you. And sounds that help you relax. But there are some sounds that can alert you to danger and can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you information about severe weather events, Amber Alerts, or other emergencies in your area. With critical information from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know, wherever you are. For more information, visit ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
You can save money and help the environment without taking a vow of poverty. How does that work? Well, by choosing Energy Star qualified lighting for your home. When you do, you'll become part of a growing national movement. Just go to EnergyStar.gov and click on Take the Change a Light Pledge. It takes only a few short seconds for you to have a long-term impact. Brighten your environmental future. From the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency.
Major key alert! Don't ever play yourself. Life is like school. You will be tested, so pass it.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at GetSchooled.com.
Stay focused. Now that's a major key alert.
Brought to you by GetSchooled and the Ad Council.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Fox Sports Radio 1400, WCOS Columbia. Available everywhere you go with the iHeartRadio app. And now #1 for podcasting, an iHeartRadio station.